Once again. So yeah, we are going to see like how we can make data science more, you can say, real time. Okay. So first of all, we'll see that two things. How can we land into the AI jobs successfully? Okay. And those who are looking for a job change, those who are into this industry, but into the IT industry, but wants to kind of switch back, okay, for them, as well as those who are learning as well. So it's a message for them as well, that how can you get into the job in case if you are already doing a course somewhere. Okay, for them also it is quite important that how the organization assess, okay, a particular candidate while taking the interviews, and then typically what are the measures that we take it up, and how can you improve yourself. But the major part over here is what you know, your peers do know the same thing. What you need to know should be something different apart from your peers. Okay, that will make you the difference. That will make the organization choose you rather than your peers. Okay, that is what I will talk about most of the time. And how can you make yourself different? Okay, otherwise it's a kind of a competitive space. Everybody nowadays know about data science. The problem with data science is there are a lot of crowd. Okay, there are a lot of requirements as well, but requirement of quality data scientist, not about volume, not about those who doesn't properly understand data science. So I will talk about some of the tricks and tips, what you say. Okay, and then I will make you understand that how should you represent yourself, okay, to successfully crack AI interviews. How you make yourself kind of into a space where you can successfully crack your interviews. And then we'll discuss about how to improve yourself. What are the feedbacks that you should take it up and then improve yourself in making a successful journey in data science. Okay. So first of all, let us understand. I'll just take it up into whiteboard, okay, as I usually love to do so. And let me, yeah. So you can see my screen, and yes. So the first thing that we specifically do is how to successfully transit yourself. So when you transit yourself to data science, it is not about what you learn. Okay, means what algorithms you learn. This is not the way we should transit, or maybe the mathematical function, or maybe the statistical part. Okay, those are something that comes at the very end. Okay, the first thing that you should know is how to successfully land is data science is a kind of common for all the business units. Let's say if you have certain experience in any of the business units, maybe a retail, maybe a healthcare, maybe a finance, you make out some, let's say you make out some bandwidth, okay, to study that domain first. Because if you just go with the traditional courses, which are already available here and there, okay, courses only teaches you how to do addition and subtraction. Okay, means how to apply algorithms. But data science is not about applying algorithms. It is about how can you solve the business problem. Okay, maybe with algorithm, that is maybe, or maybe with some statistical measures, maybe with some simple data analytics technique, maybe with some simple query techniques, right? So it is not just learning algorithms and landing into job. That doesn't help, because you also know the algorithm, The other candidate who is also attending the interview knows the algorithm. It is about how to really apply your algorithms, how to really apply these algorithms, what you learn, into real world use case. That is more important. How can you solve a business problem using these algorithms? That is more important. Because while you write these data science codes, while you write these programs, most of the time you don't need to write the formulas. Okay, because it is all been written in form of packages, classes already available with you. But what you need to know is when to apply those, where to apply those, in which data set we should apply. That gives you a complete picture. That is something you cannot learn from courses. Courses teaches you algorithm which is already automated. You don't need to write those regression algorithm. You don't need to write those logistic regression algorithm, naive-based classifier algorithm, clustering algorithm, decision tree. Okay, it is already been there. But what you need to know is when to apply when. How can you optimize those algorithms? How can you hyper optimize them? It's known as hyperparameter tuning. What data set you should take? How to analyze those data? Okay, these are some questions that is very important comparative to what algorithms to use and what is the algorithm. Okay. In your interviews, when you set up your resume, if you say that you know this algorithm, the interview doesn't start in that way in data science. It always starts with what business problem you have solved. What business problem you have solved. The companies are paying millions of dollars to their data science teams. Okay. One of the highest paying jobs so far. Just not to use those automated algorithms, but they want us to learn and understand how these algorithms can be used in real world. Okay. How can you crack down the problem statement? The most important utility is how to fix business problem. That is, we need to know, we need to learn that first. And this you cannot, as I said, you cannot learn from courses. Because you need to have experience. Like I am experienced with 7 years. In my 7 years, what I have learned, okay, is kind of, it's like you go to your university, you learn those things. Do you really apply those? No, right? You just learn everything out there, but do you really apply those on your daily task? No. Because those are fundamentals, which is already been used. And we are much ahead of fundamentals. We need to be ahead of fundamentals. You should know fundamentals. I'm not discouraging that. We should know it. But to land into a good hike, to land separately from your peers just by knowing algorithms won't help. So you need to have some sort of experience with real world data. You need to have some sort of experience on real world data, and there comes Management Career Institute. Okay, so I will explain those things later, how to get an access to real world data. Stay tuned. How can you practice on real world data? Real world means, let me give some example. Okay, in US, if most of you, if you are from US or you are living in US, one of the biggest problem statement comes is in terms of healthcare is the cost of healthcare is very expensive. Okay. Now the government they have purposely made it so It is not like the cost is higher for rest all of the countries, but it has been made purposely so that every citizen should come under insurance policies. If every citizen is secured with insurance, then government can deal with any sort of disease by distributing their patient network to private hospitals, to public hospitals, and across all the different hospitals. If the cost is less or minimalistic, then people won't go for insurance. And most of the time, the government has to run free hospitals for public hospitals, right? To ensure that they come to government hospitals and they get a free treatment. But nothing has been free out there. What they did a reverse engineering there. They increased the price, and they now want to make everybody getting insured under some companies, insurance companies, so that their responsibilities are well settled by those insurance companies. And every citizen is getting insured there because of the high cost. If somebody is not going for an insurance, if something happens, then you have to pay a very high fees, which sometimes may become burden for the citizens. So because of that, people love to go for insurance. Now, as government has democratized this entire process, the problem started generating in the hospital started now taking an advantage that why don't they increase the price and try to burn out those insurance limits. Okay, when you go for an insurance, you set up some limits, right? Now government want to regulate those by introducing some policies. So one of such policies is, if a patient is getting readmitted within 30 days, then the patient, then the hospital need to pay the penalty fees. Okay, so this is one of the use case. The other problem is so that they can control everything out. Hospital can basically take a most frequent patient intake and can start charging up their insurance company, right? So they want to impose a penalty. The government want to impose a penalty and has already kind of imposed a penalty for those hospitals where readmission of patient rates are higher. So this is one of the use case, one of the real world use case. So many companies, analytics companies, are actually working in this problem statement. And we at Management Career Institute is kind of working on one of such project where we procure some of these data sets from different insurance company and try to early predict. If I can early predict readmission, if I can early predict the readmission of a patient, not only I'm going to save the dollar, I'm also healing the patient. I'm also healing the patient if I can early predict this readmission. I'm not allowing the patient to suffer with those complexities. When a patient gets readmitted, somebody who is getting into a lot of complexities, right? When a patient gets admitted to an hospital, if you have something serious, so I'm restricting you by early predicting, by taking certain precaution measures, by monitoring your information, historic information, and then early predicting whether you are going to get readmitted in next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or by when, by next month. So this kind of problem statement you won't get to hear anywhere, because these are the real world problem statement. Most of the company won't be kind of relieving this information out. So this was one of the problem statement. And this kind of data set is not available at open source like Kaggle and all. Okay, those are very highly processed data. Means those are basically just for practice, not for practicality. I get to hear a lot of people coming out to me, reaching out to me that the interviewer has asked me that whether you have practiced Kaggle data or real world data. So I answer them that if an interviewer is asking you this question, that whether you have practiced in a Kaggle data or real world project, it means that your CV is not reflecting your real world project. And that's why you are not enough competent now to switch the job, because you need to solve some real world problem, understand how real world problems are, where you have billions of records, 100 plus features, 100 plus columns, billions of records. There your capability starts. There where your experience starts. With just 5, 8 columns, 10 columns, you will not able to experience it. So this is where Management Career Institute come in, where we procure a lot of data sets from different companies, and we basically start sharing those information, start training you on real world projects. And it's somewhere 6 months down the line, you will be able to handle all those projects. You will see one very important thing. You will get to see most of the data science, those who sell courses, they say that 15 plus projects, 25 plus projects. Is it so easy? Then why the companies are spending millions of dollars, okay, at just getting 15 projects solved? Why they're spending millions of dollars in giving the salary to data scientists and all the other kind of those who are aligned with this profession, right? So it is not the case. A typical project, one real-time project, one real-world project takes somewhere around 1 to 1.5 years. 1 to 1.5 years. That is how the real-world projects are. So if you can learn how real-world project works, then you can successfully land. Your CV will start reflecting. Means you by itself, you by yourself will come to know that yes, now I am much ready. Now I can break down ahead from my competitors. If it is so easy to solve 15 plus project, then companies would not spend billions and millions of dollars to provide a salary to data scientists. If it was so much easy to kind of deal with in real world. So here at Management Career Institute, we'll guide you how to solve this kind of problem. There are multiple problems. One such problem I said. Another problem, let me share another problem. There is a company called Upside AI. You can Google it out. Upside AI. Okay. We are actually working with them to release AI-driven portfolio management for finance. And we are also supporting them how to kind of build end-to-end products in terms of AI capabilities. Okay. So this is more into fintech. Okay. If you are interested, you understand that portfolio risk management needs so much of investment to provide kind of, means a particular bank has so many portfolios to manage. Okay, so each of these portfolio managers, they are kind of charged so high to manage their portfolios, and because of that, all the mutual funds are basically paying. Means if you invest in mutual funds, you need to pay some fee, 1.5% to 2% of fees, so that you are investing in this particular bunch of stock is getting preserved. Okay, means is getting managed by somebody, some expert. Okay, so in that case, what is happening? A person is basically managing your portfolio, who has a lot of experience in it, is managing your portfolio and kind of keeping you secured and keeping you most of the time profitable. But you need to pay a huge amount of money. 2%, 1.5% in terms of your investment is quite high. A bank gives a fixed return of 3 to 4% per year. And that 1.5 to 2% you need to provide to your fund manager. This is your fund manager who is going to manage your portfolio. So just imagine the amount of money that they take. And because of that, mutual funds are getting expensive. So that's why what is happening? We are now trying to drive out these fund managers using AI. We want to implement machine learning algorithms who can basically manage the portfolio of its own and give much better return than these fund managers. Because there are a lot of emotions, lot of you can say outside market effects which keeps on running. And because of that, the investments also keeps on kind of changing, it shifts, okay? So that is getting completely ruled out using machine learning algorithms. The second aspect is you cannot monitor 24/7, but algorithms can monitor 24/7. So this kind of projects are very, very interesting project, and we are working with the industries to solve their problem, and we want our participants and students to learn from that. And then you go and apply for a job, you will successfully land into data science. And data science is vast, okay? Data science is vast. Those who are learning Power BI is just one of the tools that you are going to learn, that is visualization tool, that to end tool. You need to learn end to end how to analyze information, okay? How to kind of do work on scalable products. You see Google, why Google engineers are earning so high salary? Because they work on a scalable problem statements. Millions of users is accessing with millions of different content, and Google is going to share the result that is very relevant content. So this kind of scalable problem statement is very hard to get from courses. You cannot learn from courses. You can only learn if you start working on this kind of industry integrated courses, or I should not say course, industry integrated projects. It's not a course. We don't say it as a course. So once you start working on this kind of models where there is a subjective business problem, and then somebody needs to solve that out. The next part is, I will take another problem statement. Before, specifically the Hollywood movies are very high budgeted movies, right? And they want to do an analysis. If some investors going to invest in producing these movies, they want to understand that what kind of movies they should produce and from which vendor, means which studio, what category, what type of movies are giving highest return or higher return. So they want to understand that. So in that case, the data scientist or the team of data scientists, they basically work in analyzing these records of movies, analysis of historical performance of movies. Specifically, this is no longer a movie game now. It is being used by all the OTT platforms. So we are also working with one of the famous OTT platforms to analyze which all the web series, basically, which all web series should get into a premium state, which all web series should be freed out, like to get and do the marketing, which all the web series should be into a mediocre range of charging, so that the OTT platforms, nobody is going to watch these movies or rate these movies manually. They're not doing it. So it is not possible, because there are so many contents. Is it possible somebody to watch the movie and then figure out that which content or which web series should get into a subscription based model and which web series should get into a free models? Okay. And if you say that, okay, I have a very good solution for it, why don't I go and see that how many movies and how many times a person is watching that, and I will put that into the subscription based. If it is having a higher views, I will put it into subscription. If it is having a lower views, then I will put it into free version. But that is not true, because before even people watching, you need to decide that which movie should get into a subscription and which movie should get into a free state. You cannot decide after giving some relaxation. Let's say the movie is getting popular, suddenly you are addressing the fees, then the content will get leaked out. So you cannot basically give it into a relaxation for a few days and then get into a subscription based model. That doesn't work out here, because this is a content, anything can get leaked out, right? So these are some of the real world even the event is getting into a state, even the web series is getting released. You need to know by that time that whether I should make into a subscription based model or free based model. The producer should know that where he or she is investing millions and billions of dollars to produce these movies, right? So this kind of problem statement is very hard to kind of get it from, it's a time-taking problem statement. You cannot solve in a day. It's not like predicting a simple Titanic data set and all. And that doesn't add any value to your resume. Just imagine if you are enrolling for a course, 15 plus project, whatever you work, and they will say 5 plus capstone project. It is not only you, all the 50 plus 500 plus a student is working on the same thing. And when you write that same thing in your resume, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And that's why the interviewer come to know that you are very novice to data science. And why do they spend so much of money on the salary part to hire a novice data scientist? They are ready to spend, given that somebody has a right skill, worked on scalable problem statements where they have billions of records, there where you get to learn actual data science. So this is one area. The other area is, so first we come to know that we need to work on a real world data set. The second area is you need to have a lot of understanding with your domain knowledge. Simply just understanding whether I want to predict what subscription this web series should go in. You should also understand that particular domain, OTT domain, OTT platform domains, how they work, how they perform, what are the user behavior. And this you cannot learn in a day. You need to spend some time in that particular domain. So whosoever landing into data science job should have a good understanding of domain. So me working in a healthcare, I understand healthcare much better. Let's say if somebody else, if a retail company is coming to me, okay, they will definitely face a problem in while even though I have a 7 years of experience, they will definitely will face some problem. They need to give me a training on their domain first. So what we do here at Management Career Institute, we first take a business problem statement. First, we try to learn the basics. Okay, three, 4 sessions of basics. Once we complete the basics, the next thing comes is how can we use these business, how can we solve this business problem statement, and how can we basically come into an understanding of the domain of business that we are solving. Okay, what is that domain that we are trying to solve? And do some research. There is a 3 to 4 weeks of literature review. We say any data science project starts with literature review. What is this literature review? What are the prior arts problem statement? How people have solved that? What you think may not be available with the data set that you are handling. So everybody will think the problem statement I said, readmission risk. If I can early predict somebody's readmission, now you all will start thinking that okay, readmission healthcare project means we need to understand what all previous medicines they have taken, what all previous surgery they have gone through, right? You all will be thinking on that aspect, but we don't use any medicine data, we don't use any surgery data, we don't use any of such data set because that is not available with us. And that's where the trick is. So the data that you think of will not be available, and for that you need to have a domain knowledge that how can you indirectly use the data that you have and solve the problem that is available with you. That is more hard, and these all things you will basically learn in this industry integrated project based learning. Because you might be thinking that I need to know what medicine, I need to know what surgery and all, but we don't take none of this data. Believe me, we only take when the patient was admitted, which date, which time. And there are certain measures, certain formulation that we do, that we generate, that we formulate, we do the research, create some new features out of it, and then build a model which is more perfect, more accurate, and have no dependency on what medicine he or she is taking, because you cannot track somebody's medication. Let's say I forget to take a tablet or I stop medication. You will not have that data. You have done a surgery 5 years ago, has no impact now. So you cannot take those kind of information and build your model. So these are some real instant that what I am saying, which we actually use in real world data science program. Now, this particular, once you do all of this, once you start working on this, then what you add into your resume is what project you have solved in last 6 months. That is more important. What skill you have is secondary, because your skill start from what problem you start solving. If you don't have a strong problem statement, you will not able to develop those skills which are required. Now, people, those who are working at Google, Microsoft, FANG companies, all of these companies, you see Facebook, scalable problem statement, billions of users searching for a content, giving a likes. You need to predict who are the similar friends. Okay, you need to recommend similar friends. Okay, so these are the problems. This scalable problem statement. You see Google, everything is scalable problem over there, billions of users. You see Netflix, so many web series, so many things are there that it keeps on changing, swinging. A new web series came into the market and it started performing worst. What you should do? Should you make it free? Should you get into a subscription? These are all scalable, dynamic scalable problem. How many people are watching every minutes and second? You come to fintech. Every minutes and seconds, the price is changing. Which is the best price, optimal price to enter into the market? And when should you leave? What are the risks? How to reduce your risk and increase your reward, risk-reward ratio. So these are now much derived in terms of scalable problems. And just by learning one or two tools will never help you in learning this entire. You need to learn end-to-end journey. You need to go through end-to-end, starting from data, getting the data, using big data tools, and then develop intelligence. Until you develop intelligence with those data, you have nothing to do with, right? My organization, the responsibility of data scientists is to start from data ingestion, which is basically being driven by a data engineer. But they say that data scientists should also get into the data ingestion level. Why? What data we are getting? How can we prune and clean the data set? That is more important. At ingestion level, if we don't get a quality data, because big data engineers don't understand what quality and what level of data is required to make a prediction. Only the data scientist can understand that what quality of information is required to solve a business problem. And that's why my organization, Innovator, they basically use data scientists to land into data from data ingestion, and then the big data engineers will be there with you, but you need to assess the quality. And then once you have the data with you, go ahead and start working on the intelligence development part. Okay, and you also reduce the time because you don't need to repeat from end. You don't need to, repeat from start. If you don't get a good quality, again, you need to go and do the ingestion, right? So that's why they make the data scientist available for ingestion. Then once you ingest the data, once you store the data in warehouse, then your building algorithm starts. Doing exploratory analysis, building algorithms, machine learning, deep learning, whatever it is, which is best suited, do hyper optimization, hyper tuning. And once you complete this process, then after you build going with the deployment of this model. Coming to MLOps. From the courses, you won't be able to learn MLOps. Very hard to learn from courses. Because you need to have a licensed environment. And there where Management Career Institute comes in and get all these license costs and everything and help you with understanding how end-to-end problems is getting solved. Okay. And then once you learn how to deploy the models, will the data scientist keep on training and do everything? So we start automating this entire process. That how a model will get automated training, how the training will be automatic. Because the data scientist, once they develop everything, then they will be deployed for a different project. The same person will not keep on running the models for 50 different customers. So we need a strong MLOps platforms to support this. You need to learn that as well. Just by learning algorithms, everybody know. And I said, algorithms are already been automated. Like you have the packages installed. You just write linear regression bracket, done. And if everybody thinks that that is so easy, then why the company is paying so much of money? Okay, so these are some real facts. Okay, I'm talking about some real facts which I experienced in my learning. in the past 7 years. And that's why I'm able to share when I go for an hiring, I first try to understand that what kind of problem statement he or she has solved. I don't much bother about what algorithm you know. But do you know how to handle this huge amount of data starting from beginning until deployment? If you know this, because learning algorithms today you don't know, tomorrow you can just learning a maths is easy, but experiencing a huge amount of bunch of information is hard. So that's where the Management Career Institute comes and give you a real world exposure. Okay, we are integrated with 100+ companies. Okay, if you see, these are the different type of tools. You see, SciPy, Pandas, NumPy, these are easy stuffs. Anybody can do that. We also use different organizations like Airbnb. They have their platforms. Okay, we use Uber's platform. Okay, we have the ML Flow, Snowflake, AWS licenses. Nothing you will be procuring. We will provide all these licenses. You will get an experience of how these tools works. So we have these licenses and we will basically get into an experience of how these tools works. Iguazio, okay, weight and biases, Neo4j, okay, SQL servers on real time, okay, and these all are implemented in our AWS. SageMaker, okay, we will show you how to deploy notebooks and everything. So these all things that you will come to learn how to utilize these tools, okay, end to end, starting from beginning until end. ML Flow is there, ML Ops, PyFolio. And we have many interns currently working, okay. We also provide, we are actually partnered with, I'll come to the, we are partnered with multiple different companies, and what they want from us is somebody who has worked on real world problems too. And then we provide you the direct contact of HR. No other organization does so. No other courses does so. So you will get in touch with the HR, okay? And we try to expand. We have a huge base at different countries like Canada, okay? And India, we are kind of partnered with 100+ companies. So we'll try to reach you out with different companies to come and hire. So once you complete this problem statement, the business problems, you create a portfolio with us, okay, where you can show that this is the business value add I have done. I have solved this problem statement, saved some $1 billion or $1 million, whatever, this much of dollar, XYZ dollar. And then I have basically used these techniques to solve this problem. And this is where my repo is. This is where my portfolio is. Verified by the companies. Okay. So this is how we basically take it up. Much different from the course-based learning. Course just go and teaches you the fundamentals. But again, you cannot learn industry aspect from fundamentals. Many of means even I'm been teaching at different universities as well. Okay. So if I see this program with university, okay, at university we cannot show these kind of scalable problems. People are burning so much of money to get degrees. But as you may be from IT or may not be from IT, but IT companies, they don't get into your degrees. You see, Google hiring 15 years old guys. doing a hackathon. Why they do it? So that they can pick up some potential candidates from the market who can really solve their problem. So solving a problem is more important. Getting an industry exposure is more important than those technical degrees. Those are required. Maybe you already have it. You are already into the industry. Those are required. Technical degrees are required to enter into the industry. But now not at this level. With my experience, okay, I'm just following myself with my experience and what I see. Most of them, there are many people who are kind of graduating in data science and all, but still they are not able to get the job because they are not able to solve those real world problems. So we help you to solve real world problems, create your portfolio, and then land into a successful data science job. You will publish a white paper with the technology firms. Okay, and that will actually prove you that yes, this guy has really worked on a problem, and showcase to the HR, showcase to any of the stakeholders. That proves really. But your academic degree doesn't prove that you have solved an industry problem. So there where your difference comes. Cool. So any questions so far? Anybody, any question, any doubts? Anybody, I would love to take the questions from all of you. Anything that you have in your mind, you can reach out to me. Any questions?
Sir, I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Sir, actually, I was talking to my friend and we were discussing about the data analytics and data science. So, what is the major difference between both the courses? Because both the courses are looking different, and that's why they are given different term like data science and
Okay,
data analytics. So, what is the main difference?
I will tell you. Now they say a lot of courses, they say that they will teach Excel. Data analysis is not new. Excel is there for so many years. Then why you spend money in learning Excel, right? I really don't understand that why they teach Excel, why they teach basics, how to do analysis. Okay. Analysis is not new. Statistics is there for so many years. 1952, when the statistical algorithm started. So it is not like you see the big companies, Toyota, they have introduced Lean, Six Sigma, okay, all of these projects to improve their operations. And this is not new. They just give a new term, data analytics, to sell courses. But as per me, okay, just simply going with data analysis has no value until you know how to develop intelligence. If you know how to develop intelligence, there where your value starts, there where company is ready to invest on you. But just knowing simple data analytics, anybody can do. There are software like SPSS. IBM has their own software. Most of the big company do have their software. Then why do we need data analyst? Softwares can do all of those stuff. So you need to know how to develop intelligence. True data science has no divisions on data analytics and all of those. True data science has no divisions. Okay, so you should know how to develop algorithms, how to make it scalable. Your Excel has a limitation, and that's why we stop using Excel. Your Excel has some limitation on number of rows and records. Then why are you learning Excel by spending so much of money on data analysis? Why we have so much of big problem statement like programming algorithms and everything, just to improve on scalability, where Excel introduces limitation. Then why should we spend money on that, right? So this is the difference that most of the people that don't know, okay? And that is fine, completely fine. Here is where Management Career Institute is there to guide you all. It's completely fine that if you are not aware of these things. Okay. I hope it answers, Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you,
So
sir.
Rishabh, Mohan this side, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mohan.
Hi. So is it necessary or compulsory to have data engineering or data analytics or whatever we talk about to get into data science?
Not compulsory. If you understand,
So
uh,
what? Let me just complete. Sorry to interrupt again. So how can I say a career path for in data science? Like uh, a person who has worked into data engineering for maybe 2 3 years and then he becomes a data science, or how are you getting?
see, with the current trend in industry, okay, so basically we typically don't have any it completely varies. Okay, if you see scalable problem statement where you have billions of records, you need to have both the skill, data engineering and data science. Because now just I will tell you, let's say you have 2 years of experience with data engineering, you do any quality checks, do you do any sort of those checks in data ingestion and all of those levels? You don't do. You just take the data from the different sources, that is what is instructed, take the data from different APIs and all, and start dumping into your warehouse. You have bunch of information. If it is useless, then what to do with those information? Why are we hosting so many things, spending a lot of dollars in EC2 instances, spending a lot of dollars in S3 buckets at AWS, right? But if you have both the skills, you can create a pipeline that is measurable. You can create a pipeline that is more of quality because you know what problems to solve. What is your business requirements? You know that. You know how to clean and improve the data set based upon at a data science level. And if you have both the skills, you start into an level of going into an architect's position, AI architects, where they design end-to-end pipeline, which takes near about a long period of time. But if you can gather the skills, it doesn't matter. If you can solve those problem statement, doesn't matter. You don't have any specified number of years to spend with. Okay, you need to have right skills. That's what. So if you are already into data engineering, if you can learn data science, so it's more rewarding because you understand both the sides. Most of the time, data engineering works on the building these data model pipelines and everything, and then they start push the data for data science team to do it. But in my organization, you won't believe data science and data engineers are doing more or less the same stuff. And one who has both these skills are paid more because they are able to understand end-to-end stuff. And if you also know ML ops and all of those, your skill increases. You can understand slowly what is happening end to bottom. With data engineering, you only know until your data is getting stored, what to do next, how to derive business, how to evaluate the problem statement, how to save the dollars, how to optimize, how to solve the problem. That you don't learn. That you get to learn from data science. How to scale your problem, that you get to learn from ML ops. As more as you learn, as much as value you can generate. So simple it is. Clear?
So when we talk about internship, so currently if I take my case or maybe the majority of the people who are joining, like we are already into the job. Okay, so how can we proceed with internship?
So
Or
basically,
can we
you
make a help?
basically these internship, it is more like learning on a real world data. Given that you are into a job, that is fine. You just need to know how to basically learn from the data set. Okay, means you can show it as a practitioner, you can show it as a consultant freelance. We have many of such people who kind of reflect in their resume as a freelance or practitioners, okay, mostly as a consultant and practitioner, okay. And also we actually help them to tweak into your business problem, like in which organization you are working. So we help to tweak those problems. So those we will take it up later, okay, how to do that. So our course is course bus means course plus learning is basically of 6 months, okay. Every week we learn something new, and the entire week to implement. 240 hours of coding, 240 hours of experience in coding is required. And then finally, with 60 hours of learning, 240 hours of implementation. Less time in learning, more time in playing on practical data set. Then you get to learn more. Okay, there are many institutes say that I will teach 100 hours plus hours. Okay, you cannot learn more than like 10-20 hours. You cannot learn anything else. Like your mind will get hung up until you start working practical, right? So 240 hours of practical problems. Just a minute. Two 40 hours of practical trainings and 60 hours of learning, okay, that you get end to end, starting from MLOps, data science, bit on SQL, Postgres, okay, pull the data, and you also learn to know how to implement in cloud and all of those, okay, how to use cloud, all the details, everything will come.
Yeah, thank you, Risha.
Yeah, thanks. Anybody else with any question? And if you have any question, reach out to Management Career Institute. Okay, reach out to Kunal with any question, any problem statement. You can also reach out to me if you want from the technical front. Okay, and see you all soon by starting from August. Okay, so see you all soon over there. And thanks everyone for joining. Over to you, Kunal. So
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll just add a note. I have a very hard stop at 9. So I will be leaving. Any question, you can reach out to Kunal, and any technical aspect, you can reach out to me. I will help you. I'm available every time. Okay. So I will help you to fix your doubts, queries, and everything. So thanks, everybody. See you by August. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Risha,
Thank
for
you
the
so
info.
much. Thank you so much, Rishabh. Hi, friends. Kunal this side again. Once again, I'll be coming and interacting with you from Management Care Institute. So, yeah, any queries regarding anything? So, I've just shared a link with you. This feedback submission link. Hope you all got the or received the link.
Yeah, Kunal, this is.
So I wish everyone wants to submit this feedback, and we'll be able to sync with our Canadian partners, so we can release all your participation certificates in 2-3 days timeline. Now, any questions apart from this? Apart from technical queries, you have something to discuss, you wanted to share, or you wanted to connect for further rounds of discussions? Anything, I'm available here. Anything related with the program, any other thing, anything you wanted to get to know more further about it? Anyone wants to connect, or do you want me to conclude this event?
For now, it is nothing.
Okay. Uh, okay. So Amjad, Miguel, I think Siddharth is from the yeah. Hi Amjad, can you hear me? Uh, Miguel, can you hear me? Can we connect? Okay, let's conclude for the day. Thank you so much, and please reach out to me for any further queries. Thank you.